We want to show the world that there's more than you think. Been active with artistic pursuits, visual art and music. But I never really understood the goal of art until I had an event in 2016. And that event was, it's hard to explain, but I was sitting in my bike shop. I had a bike shop at that time. And a stranger came up to me, and when I looked into her face, I had some kind of a realization. I guess what I later learned is called a spiritual awakening or a Kundalini awakening. And after that moment, my personality started to change, and I started to understand reality in a different way than I had before. And so at that point, I just I developed I think a special kind of insight and intuition that led me to create art in a way to try and explain that experience to other people. Beyond came from an event that Doug and I experienced in maybe 2017 or 2018, where we went to see a movie at the mall here, and it was about was called the Meow Wolf Origin Story, and it showed the adventures of an artist collective in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and they had done all kinds of artwork that was in distinction to the fine art of the area, and they made installations where people could interact with the environment and with all kinds of psychedelic environments, and Doug and I were really inspired by this movie, and we thought, wow, Ithaca really needs something like this. Ithaca really needs an interactive art space, and so we set about trying to achieve that goal. One thing that happened is that we got very excited about this idea, and we gathered a group of people together, maybe 30 or 40 artists, and we had a big dinner together, and we showed the movie, the Meow Wolf Origin Story, and everyone was all excited, and we were going to have a public unveiling the first week of April 2020, and then, as you may know, that's just at the time COVID hit, and we had to cancel our big opening and scale everything back, and we were kind of in hibernation for a year and a half, and but finally things started to let up, and we were able to secure a space and get our artists back online and contributing, and then we were able to open up in August of this year.
I am the director of a medical program. I am an artist. I teach for the university, and I am the chief ridiculator for Purposefully Ridiculous. I would draw on bananas when I was a little kid, banana peels and napkins. I loved disposable things, drawing on things that normally you would throw away. I drew and painted absolutely everything. I've kind of gone through all the mediums. I never really studied art. It was just something I did for joy and for my mental wellness, I guess. Currently, I'm working in needle felt for this exhibit. I also love to work with acrylics. Then once I have worked and created acrylic art, I've been placing it onto clothing and working with textiles and fashion. And I also do public access performance art where we're going into spaces and engaging other people to art with us. I love fluidity and movement. I love the form of a woman, of all women. There's no way that you can recreate the beauty that nature hands you, so you can celebrate it. I helped to create the UFO in the back, and then I said, hey Doug, if you need more help, I'm happy to help, right? So I came to help one day, and this stairwell was just, this blank open space because it's a stairway. And I don't know, I started to see it, and I was like, hey, what if I did this? He said, great, do it. So then I never helped with any of the other things they needed because I started working on this project instead. I have probably a million things in my head that will never happen. I've always got an idea. I start a new song 5 or 6 times a day that I have no intention of finishing. So I don't think for me, the product is really the object all the time. Sometimes just the idea is to create.
I am a self-taught artist. I began at the age of 5 years old. I've never had any formal art education. I've always loved being very creative as an artist, painter, musician, filmmaker, and it's part of my spiritual practice.
With me, it's kind of integrated into life. It probably started in high school when I would do performance art things and pretend that I'm fighting with my friend, and then change once the whole crowd was there and have a bunch of different things to say. But I've been doing photography for about 20 years professionally, and there's always been art that moves through it. This past year and a half, I've started working painting into the photography, and painting's now taking off in a different way. So I think it's a way of life. So it's possible I've always done art.
A lot of the inspiration comes from a variety of sources. It's a combination of working with plant medicine. A lot of visions come through plant medicine journeys, dreams, ancient cultures, alien intelligence, and also just being a humble vessel for the ideas, for the visions to come through. It's a practice of surrender to the source of creativity and honoring the spiritual messages that come through. So a lot of these visions surprise me.
I'm inspired by my Latin roots because there's a certain level of ganas there, and there's also a certain level of clout around passion and around creativity and around connecting to spirit that I feel much more validated and understood when I'm in Mexico versus when I'm in York, Pennsylvania.
Is healing, and art should be thought-provoking, and it's really fascinating to engage in conversations with people that observe the art and get into deeper conversations. It goes way beyond just a shallow, oh, that's a nice picture, let's move on to the next eye candy or whatever. I want to provoke thought, I want to provoke some healing, I want to provoke art as medicine. And so the takeaway really is nurturing spirit. Art should be about nurturing spirit, about uplifting the audience as best as we possibly can.
I actually aspire for people to be changed on contact. I feel like it's really magnifying desire and love and sense of self and identity. And like I said before, I'm hoping that it's something beyond just what we know. And that's what makes art work, in my opinion, is it's something that you can't express. It's something that you can only feel. It's almost like we're developing senses in order to perceive it. So yeah, it sounds like a really lofty goal. But I really do feel that what I desire my work to do is elevate others. it feels really good when people say, I really like that piece you did, but I love it even more when I hear that it's alive, in the sense that that photo made me want to do this, you know, and it inspires people to actually open up in their art.
Beyond is a group of artists who have some understanding of the process of enlightenment, and who have experienced things that they need to convey to mainstream America.
Is an interactive art experience that allows the visitors to see themselves in kind of different forms of light. So Beyond kind of pushes the viewer to look outside, you know, to look inside, right? There's so much mystery within each of us, you know, and we have a 3-pound universe up here.
I feel like Beyond is for kids, meaning the kid in everybody. I feel it's really important, especially now in history, for people to reclaim their child. I think it's really important for people to kind of stay alive in their imagination. And I feel Beyond feeds that and encourages that and draws that out of culture. And so I feel like Beyond is a bit of an oasis for imagination and for childlike experience.
All of these community members and people who were just visiting chose to create art together.
Gente, abre la mente y el corazón, escucha la serpiente, abraza el presente, vida, ven, vive la vida, siente la armonía, baila al son de la